Hi everyone, welcome back to this amazing episode of my channel. So if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, and for my returning subscribers, welcome and welcome back again to this family. So with me today is a tiny book, as you can see, which is my pocket book, and in it I have some of the secrets I want to reveal to new beginners in this relationship journey. Many of the times we come from backgrounds where you really don't have anyone to advise you when it comes to relationship matters. Not all of us, but some of us come from families where you really don't get advised on the tracks to follow when you're venturing into this relationship thing, or you don't even get someone to tell you that a relationship actually exists out there, and therefore you have to go out there and learn it by yourself. And today is just a small piece of advice to my younger brothers and sisters out there who are really eager to get to know what this relationship life or relationship is all about. So with me here are 9 points that are going to guide you in this new relationship journey that you are about to begin, if you're about to begin, or if you have already started your relationship journey. So stay tuned as we learn together. So number one thing that you have to know and you have to understand is your worth. You have to know your worth so that you don't settle for less. Many of the times people enter into relationship without actually knowing who they are, without knowing their worth, without knowing the standards they really need to set in life. And here with us today is an advice that you actually really need to know yourself before you enter into a relationship. Know the kind of a person you are, know the kind of a person you want to settle for or to settle with, so that you don't just enter into relationships which will lead to heartbreaks and continuous heartbreaks. I know when the first heartbreaks happens or occurs, it is really easy for you to enter into another relationship without really considering the factors that you had at first, and therefore landing into relationships that are not long lasting, and this will end up lowering your self-esteem and also your self-worth. So before you enter into a relationship, you first have to understand and to know what is actually my worth. What is my worth? Step number 2 is respect. Irregardless of where your standard is, irregardless of where you've put yourself, irregardless of the background you come from, you have to respect everyone, anyone and everyone, regardless of the differences, the social difference or the economical differences that are between the two of you. Some ladies, I don't want to say ladies per se, or there are even men out there who think that because they come from a higher social class, they can't relate themselves with people from low social classes, which is not a good thing. You have to respect each and every one, regardless of who they are, regardless of where they come from, and when that respect is there. So for example, I've seen a lady, okay, that lady didn't really come from a high social class family, but yes, they knew their self-worth and they decided to set boundaries for themselves and also to set standards for their lives, which is not a bad thing. That is what is required. But you going to an extent of looking at people as trash and not seeing value in people, that is not a good thing, because you never know. You might be up there today and you don't know whether that person you're looking down upon is going to be the one up there someday when you are not there. So it calls for respect for everyone. You have to respect everyone for you to be respected, because if you don't respect, you are definitely not going to be respected there in the future. And remember one thing, malipo ni papa hapa duniani. So step number 3 is self-love. Before giving others chances, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself before opening your heart to someone, because the moment you decide to love someone without first loving yourself, you're not going to see that worth in yourself. So when you're being mistreated, okay, I'm not saying that all relationship has that sort of mistreatment or something of the sort, but you have to love yourself first, so that when someone doesn't reciprocate the love that you expect them to love you with, you'll definitely know that this is not what I want. So you first have to love yourself. If it's outings, you have to take yourself for outings. You have to enjoy life. You just have to carry yourself with some sort of dignity and some sort of love for yourself that no one can really understand. Yeah, so that's it. And then number 4, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a purpose in a relationship. You can't just enter into a relationship because people are entering into relationships and maybe you're not ready for relationships. Dramas, there are a lot of things that happen in relationships, and if you're not ready for them, my friend, just stay at home and relax, build your future. And if you're actually you think that you're actually ready for relationships, then you have to have a purpose. You have to have a purpose. What do I mean by a purpose? You can't enter into a relationship and you don't even know what you expect from that relationship. Yeah, many people enter into relationship because of peer pressure. Some enter into relationship because of competitions. Some enter into relationship because they're looking for someone to provide for them, or they call them sponsors, which is not something good. You're supposed to look for a long-term relationship. You're supposed to have a long-term relationship goal, so that when your goals are not met, or you think that your goals are not going to be met, you just quit as early as possible. You don't have to enter into a relationship because you're feeling bored. There are friends out here, there are people out there who can make you really happy. There are different sort of games and nature activities that can actually give you that company that you need. And if you feel like you're just entering into a relationship because you feel bored, then no, you are on the wrong track. You're supposed to enter into a relationship with a long-term goal. Like, what do I expect? Yeah, there are advices out there that you're only supposed to enter into a relationship when you're ready for marriage. Yeah, people take it for granted, but it's actually what is supposed to happen. You're supposed to enter into a relationship when you are ready for marriage. Yes, so that you don't end up wasting your life. You don't end up wasting just getting your heart broken to an extent you can't accommodate any opposite sex relationships. Yeah, I've had a friend who not a friend per se, but I've known someone who used to be so active, and when they decided to venture into this relationship thing, the first time they got a heartbreak. I don't want to say if it's a he or a she. The first time they got a heartbreak. The second time it came again. So at that time, this person decided to embrace LGBTQ, which is not something good. Yeah. So first, before you enter into a relationship, just know your goal for that relationship. Yes, know your goal for that specific relationship, so that you don't end up wasting your life. You don't end up messing with your mental well-being. Yes. And then point number 5 is continual recap of the beginning. For your relationship to thrive, as long as you've known that I really want to enter into this relationship because I have this goal, you have to have a constant recap of what actually brought you guys together. You don't just enter into a relationship and then you forget how you guys enter into a relationship, what actually drew you guys together. You have to have a continual recap of what brought you guys together. You're supposed to enjoy the moments that brought you together, so that your relationship doesn't become boring. Because for you to enter into a relationship with someone, there must be that something that captivated you. There must be that something in that person that drew your attention to them, for you to make a conclusion that this is the most interesting person I've discovered in the world, and I want to spend the rest of my life with them. So you have to have a recap of what actually brought you guys together. Yeah, so point number 6 is open communication. Open, transparent, open and consistent communication. There's no relationship that can thrive without communication. Let me tell you, Maina, there is no relationship that is going to thrive without communication. Yeah, so in a situation where you find your communication, there's no communication between you and your partner, it's kind of going down, then know that that relationship is not going to last. And as someone who is venturing into this relationship thing, you must be ready to have an open and consistent communication. What do I mean by open communication? You're not feeling well, you must inform your partner. You're feeling like you want to go this direction, they have to know. You can't make your own decisions and you've decided that I want to enter into a relationship with someone I term as special among them all, not special per se, but yeah, special among them all, and then you don't tell them what you're going through, or you're keeping secrets from them. It doesn't add up. So if you decided that you're venturing into this relationship thing, you must be ready to open up to them. They've wronged you, you have to communicate. You want something, you have to communicate. You want to go places, you have to communicate. Something happened to you, you have to communicate. Open and consistent communication. What do I mean by consistent communication? You don't have to communicate today and then tomorrow, because you just feel like you're that introverted person, you just feel like staying at home and watching your movies, so you can't just wake up and say hi to someone. You're just there waiting for them to say hi because you're that introverted person. You have to have a consistent communication mode or method. Yes, and then that assures you a good relationship. And then number 7 is sharing goals and being supportive. You have to share goals and be supportive. If you at all you've decided I want to enter into a relationship with this person, you must be willing to share your goals in life, so that if you guys have common goals, you can work towards achieving them. But if you guys don't have common goals and you feel like it's not going to work between the two of you, then you definitely know that this is the point to just walk out or alight the train here before you go further, so that things work well for you. Yes, so you have to communicate. You have to share your goals. Yes, you have to share your goals and be supportive. When you're in the relationship where people see competition instead of support, if you've decided that indeed I really want to enter into this relationship with this guy, you have to be supportive. You have to support them and you have to expect support from them. By support, you don't need financial support. It might be emotional support. It might be just simple advices and simple encouragement instead of feeling jealous because they're thriving or they're moving forward. So you have to be supportive and share your goals so that you work towards building them and forming a greater home. Remember, we said that you only enter into a relationship when you're sure you're ready for marriage. And for those who are entering into relationships so as to see how it works, it's not a good thing, but have that purpose. If you really want to have a smooth life, if you really want to have a comfortable life, just have that purpose in mind of it's going till marriage. Yeah. And then number 8 is avoid common questions. Yeah, many of the times people ask common questions that lead to boring relationships. If at all you want to enter into a relationship or into a new relationship, or if you want to renew your relationship, maybe you entered into one, it was not interesting, and you guys parted ways for some reasons that are not communicatable, then you have to start embracing this nature of not asking common questions like how was your day, how was your lunch, what did you take for lunch. You need to start embracing interesting questions like what was the most weird thing that happened to you, like things that can bring about conversations between the two of you. And you know, when there's a conversation or communication, then that relationship is going to thrive. Yes, and then the last thing is having a good conflict resolution technique. Have a good conflict resolution technique. There are those people who are really driven by anger. You just do something small and they're just mad at you. You cannot enter into a relationship when you cannot have a good conflict resolution technique. You must have to learn how to solve things, because really there are a lot of challenges that are experienced in relationships, and if you're really not ready to solve them in a good way, then it might lead to something else. So if you decided that I really want to enter into this relationship with this person, then you must have that open and not open, but you must have that good conflict resolution techniques, so that you don't end up frustrated, you don't end up miserable and all those sort of things. The book of Proverbs, yes, the book of Proverbs chapter 22 verses 24 condemn people from making friends with angry people. So if you know you're an angry person, then I don't think there is need for you to enter into a relationship. You first have to work on your anger. Yeah, and the Bible terms angry people as foolish. So you first have to work on your anger and know that when this and this happen, this is how I control myself, and this is how I'll solve this problem when it comes about, so that you don't end up frustrating someone else's life or also getting your life frustrated. So thank you so much for staying tuned till the end. I hope this was an amazing session for us to learn as beginners in this relationship journey, and I hope to see you in my next video as we continue to learn and to grow together. Bye bye.